Decorating Fanatic here. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I am super excited because I'm going to do a laundry room makeover, and this is going to be a first in 21 years. So it's been that long since I've done anything to my laundry room except paint it and put some border up. Other than that, this laundry room has stayed the same since I built the house. I have this metal shelf and I have this plastic tub, and this is what the builder put in when we moved in. And I don't have a big laundry room at all. It is very small. So over here is my door that goes out to the garage. So this door gets used a lot. We pull our cars in the garage, then walk through the door, and the floor gets really dirty. Now I try and use some bleach and a little toothbrush to scrub the grout. And sometimes that works, but then I have this stuff that I found from Home Depot. It's called Poly Blend Grout Renewal. And what it is, what I do is I take a toothbrush and I wipe it in my grout, with the toothbrush, and it like stains it. And then all I do with the rag is wipe it off the tile, and it like I said, it like stains the grout, and it looks like I have brand new tile, and it looks so nice and clean. And I just love this stuff. So, after a while it'll get dirty again, and then I'll try to scrub it and clean it again. But then if I really want it to look really nice, I'll just go back over it again with the Poly Blend Grout Renewal. So I went ahead and cleaned up my floors, and I went ahead and I painted my baseboards, gave them a fresh coat of paint. And then over at Big Lots, I found this rug, and I thought that would look nice. It matches my washer and dryer. So let me give you some ideas of what I have planned for my laundry room. Now I want to remove my metal shelf. And I was thinking about putting a single cabinet over here in the corner to the left. And then I want to add some really nice, thick, chunky shelves that maybe are in a dark walnut color. And then I want to do something the same type of wood. It'll attach to the end of the wall here, and it will go across the washer and the dryer, and that'll give it a nice look. And then I definitely want to replace my plastic tub with a vanity. And of course it'll have a counter and the sink and then a new faucet. So I think that would look nice in here. So my other dilemma is in this room. Okay, on this wall here I have this laundry sign, which is way too small. So I went ahead and removed everything out of here. I got rid of my ironing board and my laundry basket. But I have this cord here that goes around the wall to my coffee bar, because I don't have a plug-in behind the wall over there on the other side. So somehow I got to come up with something creative to hide this cord, and I do not know what I'm going to do with this wall here. But I did go ahead and hang this sign. It says laundry, and I added the hooks. This is where my ironing board is going to go. So it's going to be on this back wall, and it will be off the ground to give me a little bit more room in here. And then while I'm in my laundry room, because my tortoise is making a lot of noise. Now actually he's my son's tortoise, and he does live in our side yard, but I had to bring him in last night because it got around 38 degrees and they cannot take the cold. So I went ahead and brought him in, and I think tomorrow it's going to warm up, so I'll go ahead and put him out tomorrow morning when it warms up. And his name's Henry, so I wanted to share with you guys because this is where he goes when he comes in at night, in my little wash tub here. So I'm also going to be removing my border and giving this room a fresh coat of paint. Now I picked out a color called Burnished Clay, and it's in the gray family. So I think it's going to be a nice color. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to get my sample out, and I'm going to paint part of this wall and see what it looks like. Well, I did a little shopping today for my laundry room, and I ended up over at Lowe's, and I picked up this 18-inch by 30-inch cabinet. Now this is going to go just above my washing machine. Now the employee was trying to talk me into like a 30-inch, and it was almost double the size, and I really thought when I looked at it that it was way too big, and all I really need is this single door here. I think this is plenty, enough storage for me to hold my laundry soap, some bleach, some rags, maybe some fabric softener and dryer sheets. So I think this will be the best size, because on the side of this I am going to put some shelving, and this is solid oak here, but the side is just particle board. Now this side over here will be against the wall so you won't see it, but I will be priming it and painting it, so I think that'll look nice once it's done. I'm going to be using Kills. Now this is a primer, a sealer, and a stain blocker, but I have another project that I need this for, so I'm going to go ahead and prime my cabinet, and then I'll be painting it this gray color. Now I was going to put a bathroom vanity in my laundry room, so I color matched it to the vanity, but I decided to go with a pedestal sink in white. But I am going to keep this color because I think this is a nice gray color and I think it'll look nice in the laundry room. So for the pedestal sink, I have that out in the truck and I'll be getting that out tomorrow. But I went ahead with this faucet here, and I got this at Lowe's, and this is bronze, and I paid about $89 for this. So I'll be installing this tomorrow. And then I picked up a couple of these brackets. I got 4 of them. I'm going to be putting 2 shelves next to the cabinet here. So I got 4 of these, and then I'm going to be staining the wood. I got a couple sample pieces of wood that I'm going to play around with, but I picked up red mahogany, and I'm going to stain that tonight and see how that comes out, make sure that I really like the color. And then the last thing I got was over at Home Depot. I picked up this little mini pendant lighting, and I think I paid around $69 for this. So tomorrow I am super excited because I'm going to get all this stuff installed, and then we're going to go ahead and see what it looks like. Well, I made it back into the laundry room and I started removing my shelf, and as you can see I got most of the screws out. I had to unscrew them and take the little plastic pieces that were holding up the shelf, and I must say it is so dirty back here, so I'm going to wipe down the wall, and then I'm going to be patching the holes and getting it ready for tomorrow so I can hang my cabinet and put up my shelves. Well, I want to share with you guys what I'm going to use to fill my holes. Now this stuff is called Dry Dex. It's spackling and it is pink. The color of it's pink. So when I go ahead and fill in the holes, this will turn white when it dries, so I'll be able to paint over it. Now if I need to, I might use this wall texture. After it dries, I might spray a little wall texture on there, and then I'll be able to paint my wall. Well, I patched all my holes, so I'm going to let them dry and then I'll come back, and if I need to, I can sand over the top to make it smooth. And then right now I'm waiting for my cabinet to dry, and then I might go out there and put another coat of primer and give it about an hour, and then I'll come back and paint my cabinet. I finished putting the first coat of paint on the cabinet door, and I really think this is a really pretty soft gray. So if anybody's interested in the color, I have the formula on the back of the can. This was color matched from one of the vanities that was in the store. So it doesn't have a name, but I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then I'm going to give it a second coat. Well, I have my pedestal sink all in place, and then I have my faucet up there. Now we have to go to the store and pick up some plumbing. We're going to try to get these little plastic pieces here in chrome and to make it look a little nicer behind here. Of course, you know, I was thinking that you weren't going to see that, but of course the pedestal comes out in the middle of the sink, and you are going to see that. So I'm going to pick up some chrome pieces to make it look a little nicer behind here. But so far so good, it worked. We didn't think this was going to work because they were talking about securing the pedestal to the tile with a bolt, and I'm like, oh no, I am definitely not putting a hole through my tile or cutting stuff off my wall and putting a piece of block back there, you know, a piece of wood. But anyways, we managed to get it secured in the back, and we'll put a little caulking back there, and I'm definitely probably going to have to do some painting for sure, but then I might as well just go ahead and change the color while I'm at it. As part of my laundry room makeover, I am going to remove all this border that goes around the room. Now all you need is a spray bottle of water, and over here I went ahead and sprayed some of the wallpaper here and peeled some of it off. Now when it's real damp, you want to use this scraper here. This helps get the wallpaper off, and when it's real damp, it's real easy to come off. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up trying to get this off my walls, and once that's done, then I have to decide on the paint color that I'd like to paint my walls. I managed to get the cabinet hung, and then I also did a sample of that burnished clay color on the wall. And I'm not really feeling the gray. My husband says he doesn't like gray. So I'm really kind of used to the color that's on the wall. It's like a yellowish gold color. It's bright and cheery. So I'm probably going to end up getting a gallon of paint and just painting it that color. And I did go out in the garage to see if I had any left, and of course it was all dried up in the bottom. So I'm going to have to make a run over to Home Depot and pick up some more paint. But I did accomplish getting the border taken down, and then my pedestal sink is over here all in. Now I didn't do anything with the shelving because the color that I used, the red mahogany, did not look nice at all. So I'm going to have a hard time figuring out what color I am going to stain this wood. So I'm going to put wood across the washer and dryer. I just have to figure out what color stain I'm going to use. And then I'm going to put 2 shelves over here next to the cabinet. Now the other thing that I did, here's my laundry sign that I hung with the hooks. And I do have my ironing board hanging up off the floor. And then I was able to find this table here. It was out in my front room, and I decided that I would use it in here. So this kind of hides my cord. I have this little sign here that I wrote laundry schedule, and it says sort today, wash later, fold eventually, and iron, ha ha ha. So I thought that was cute, so I went ahead and put that up there. It kind of hides the cord a little bit. And I definitely needed something against this wall, so this is what I came up with. And then I put the little pillow down below. So my next step is going to get the paint and figure out what stain I'm going to use for my wood. Well, I'm getting ready to start painting, and I had some glue up around the ceiling where the border was at. So I went ahead and made a mixture of 50-50 of vinegar and water, and all I did is spray it on there and wipe it off. And I must say that did the trick. All the glue is off my walls because I want to make sure my walls are nice and clean before I start painting. Now the color that I'm using, I'm going to stick with the same color that I have here. This is Humble Gold by Sherwin-Williams. Now when I pulled out my paint can, of course the paint was all dried up, so I went and got a new gallon. But I'm using the Bear, so I must have had it color matched probably 10 years ago. So this is a paint and primer in one, and that's what I'm going to be using. It's a satin finish. Now before you guys do any painting, make sure that you take all your pictures off the walls. You definitely don't want to paint around them and, you know, get paint on it. And it's always a good idea to give yourself a professional job. I mean, it only takes a few seconds to take off these outlets. So I'm going to go ahead and remove some things off the wall, and then I'm going to get started painting. Well, I want to show you what paintbrush I'm using. I'm using a 1-inch paintbrush to cut in at the ceiling. Now if you dip your brush into your paint, and you can get right up underneath the ceiling there. There's like a little ridge. You just put your brush under there and just glide it along, and you'll end up getting a really nice straight line. So I'm going to go ahead and cut in around my room here, and then I'll get out my roller and start painting my walls. Well, I finished painting the laundry room, and I must say this was easy. Because it's the same color, I didn't have to go behind the washer and dryer. That saved me some time. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to take a break and have some lunch. While my paint's drying, I want to show you guys what roller I used. When I was at Home Depot picking up the paint, I did buy a roller. But then when I came home, I found that I had this in the cabinet in the garage. And I must say, this is a lot nicer. It's 9 inches, and it's got a half nap, so it's really thick. and it holds a lot of paint. Now I would suggest investing in a better roller. When I bought cheap ones in the past, they would splatter paint and they don't hold any paint on the roller at all. So I found this one to work really well, and paint went on nice and smooth and easy. So I'm going to have some lunch, and then I'm going to find some wood out in the garage, and I did buy a different wood stain in Gunstock. I'm going to try that out and see if I like that, and see what I can come up with for the laundry room. Well, I'm almost finished with my laundry room makeover. I managed to get the shelves hung today, so I want to tell you about the wood that I'm using. Now, we purchased this over at Lowe's, and we did have the wood cut down to 21 inches in length, and then I did use stain. So I'm going to tell you about the different stain that I used for the wood. But I also want to tell you they come out 12 inches width, and then they're ½ inch in their thickness. So we managed to get these hung today, and I put a couple little things up there that I already had laying around the house. Please help with the laundry. It makes me a basket case. Had this little flower pot here, and then my husband suggested that I hang something over here on the wall, and it says, "Life is made of choices, remove your shoes or scrub the floor." So let me show you some of the things that I had picked out for wood color stains. My husband's first choice was red mahogany. And then when I looked at this, I was like, oh, it's so dark and you don't really see the nice notches in the wood. So we didn't want to go with that. My first choice was to go with gray. And of course, he didn't want gray. So then I picked out Gunstock. And this is just, I don't know, an oak color. But it's too orange for me. So I had a whole can of that. And then I had the red mahogany. So I decided that I would mix the two. So by mixing the two, I ended up getting this really pretty brown color. So I'm going to show you these side by side, because one is definitely orange and the other one has more of a brown tone. So I chose the one on the right. That's what I did. I ended up mixing just a couple, like, I don't know, I'd put more oak color in there, Gunstock color, and then maybe 2 tablespoons of a little bit of the red mahogany just to make it a little darker. So that's what I have on my shelves here. So the next thing we have to do is I'm going to be staining this wood here. This is going to go across my washer and dryer. The pieces do have to be glued together. So my husband's going to glue everything, and then I'm going to stain it, and then my laundry room will be all complete. Hey guys, I'm in the process of finishing up my laundry room makeover. Now this is the last thing I am working on. This is the wood that's going to go across my washer and dryer. Now these are 3 pieces of wood that my husband glued together. So we used a wood glue, and then we did use a large clamp on here to hold them 3 together. So what I'm doing now is I have my sander, and I'm using 80 grit sandpaper, and this is really doing the job really well. So what I'm doing is I'm going over all the joints, making sure that it is all nice and smooth and it looks like one piece of solid piece of wood. And I'm going to do that over the, like I said, I'm going to go over the whole thing with the 80 grit. Then I'm going to use my 220 grit and make it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to be ready to stain it. And then all I have to do is pick this up and put it on top of my washer and dryer. Now underneath, to give it a little height, my husband used 3 boards that he glued underneath, so it does look really nice when it's on there. So I'm going to work on this, and then I'll be ready to show you my final laundry room makeover. Hey guys, my laundry room's all finished. Now I'm super excited to share with you how it turned out. Now I just finished staining this piece of wood. Now this goes across my washer and dryer, but I'm also thinking about enclosing it and putting it down the side here. I think that would look really nice. So let me go ahead and share with you what I did. So on this back wall, I had a metal shelf, and I went ahead and removed that, and I had a lot of holes that I had to patch. And then over here, I bought this 18-inch by 30-inch cabinet. I painted it gray, and I bought a bronze handle for it. I bought that over at Lowe's for $59. And then the wood, that also came from Lowe's. Now we had this cut to size, and then we bought the brackets, and all we had to do is attach the brackets to the shelving and then put that on the wall. Then I had a few extra pieces left over that I used on the shelf. And then down here, we bought our pedestal sink with our bronze handle. Now that also came from Lowe's. And I think the pedestal sink cost under $200. And then the faucet was $89. Then I also purchased a rug for in here. It's got the blues and the grays. So I think that goes real well with my washer and dryer. That came from Big Lots for $21. And then I also was able to use this table that came from my front room over here against this wall. And I just added a pillow and a few things on top. And then I got rid of my border that I had along the top of the wall and gave it a fresh coat of paint. And then I have my laundry room sign that I purchased over at Hobby Lobby along with the hooks. And I have my ironing board hanging on that, and that's keeping it off the floor. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this inspires you to get creative in your home. And until next time, happy decorating!